Bruce Wade, based in Cape Town, South Africa, he speaks, he consults, coaches, and he coaches on a strategic narrative methodology based on the 7 principles of sustainable innovation. He believes in engineering strategic stories that speak to and develop a sustainable and profitable ecosystem to include all stakeholders. So with 15 years of corporate, followed by 25 years of experience in entrepreneurship, Bruce has authored over not 5, not 10, but 20 books on various subjects related to developing fiscal sustainability through entrepreneurship development. So he is a professional speaker and the past president of the Professional Speaking Association of Southern Africa. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Bruce Wade.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's good to be here, and I think it's good to share. We've had a really interesting week working with a group of people who are the movers and shakers in and around Africa. And I help tell stories. So I'm a master story engineer, and we're crafting that story. When it comes to leadership and innovation, there's a number of stories that people don't tell. So I just want to lean a little bit into the 7 principles of sustainable innovation. The first principle says, do the right things right with the right people at the right time in the right place. And it's a wonderful principle, and it's kind of, there's nothing new in there until we start to unpack that. And when we unpack that, it's not a matter of saying it's not the do, and it's not the time, it's not the people, it's not the place, but the key word is there, what is right? And it's an interesting concept. I've introduced that at the beginning of a day workshop and then closed for evening supper without resolving that simple question, because it's a really interesting thing. When it comes to leadership, when it comes to innovation, if you do not know what right is, then you are wasting your effort, you're wasting your time. So as speakers, when we bring our message out to the world, when our innovators, when we bring in our offerings out into the world, or when we're changing direction, we want to be more right than we were before, because right is an ever-evolving concept. And I want to share with you a little concept that I have. It's a little rhyme. It's about as musical as I'm going to ever get in my life. And it's a little poem that unpacks innovation. Now we know the innovation S-curve and the bell curve and, you know, the trough of this and blah, 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 all those wonderful MBA business school things. But my little poem, it's a storyline, and innovation is anything, you know, it's just a story of development. And if we don't know what's happening, we're going to innovate to get going. Now, the continent of Africa is well known for making things happen when things don't work. The first world is great because you can just pick up the phone and you can order something off Amazon or go down to the local store and get something. Often in Africa, we're sitting there and it's 45-minute drive to the nearest place that you can get a Coca-Cola, let alone anything from a hardware store or a solution. So we fix things on our own. And we've learned that we're a very resilient country, and people across the continent fix their own stuff before they ask for help. And this is innovation. So the poem goes simple like this: what is, what, wow, what if, what now, why no, why yes, how now. So let's unpack that. I'm sure you didn't write that down. So we'll go through it a little slowly. We cannot start any innovation without knowing where we are. So that's the first thing. What is our current situation right here, right now? We've got to map that out there. And there's a number of tools we can do that. We can do environmental assessment and all those other things there. But you've got to know where you are. Now, this is an assumption that we make with a lot of people. We always assume people know where they are. They got Google Maps, haven't they? They got GPS location. But emotionally, physically, financially, you know, where are you? Where are you in your relationship? Where are you with your innovation? People have far less idea than that. When you know where you are, you're able to look forward. And the next one is what is, then what, wow. And we take that string and we walk right to the horizon, and then we throw it over. I like to peek over the horizon into the what wow. And the what wow is a place that has no limits. We're not limited by anything other than our imagination. And the what wow is a whole lot of sheets on a flip chart in a workshop. It's a whole lot of screen prints if you're working on Zoom, and it's a whole lot of little notes that you stick all over the windows when you're in a workshop with me, and we unpack that. What is the wow? If we had no limits, what would your wow be? Now we know where we are, and we've got the what wow. And a lot of that we unpack, and we do that. And that's often where innovation starts. And that's also where a lot of innovation stops. Because people get so overwhelmed with the wow that they often just think, oh, we can't possibly do this, and they go into analysis paralysis and slow death of overwhelmedness, and then they close the project and they just hope for something else to come across their plate so then they can redirect their energy and avoid the big elephant in the room of the vision that's been cast. But let's take that. So we've got the what wow, the horizon, the moonshot, the wonderful area if everything was possible to do that. But let's just bring that a little closer. And we want to put another peg in the ground, and we call that what if. And this is within the realm of possibility, but not quite in reach. So we say, wouldn't it be amazing if we all had helicopters and fly cars, and we had the Hyperloop operating, and we could get to New York to London in 25 minutes. It'll be amazing. But what if we had an aircraft that could get there in half the time? What if we could do that without having to go through those queues at the airport? What if we could? And people go like, wow, now people are buying in. So we're pulling them into the vision, and we're getting there. Now innovative ideas and the juices start flowing, but it's still a little bit out of reach. So now you've got to bring it a little bit closer into reach, because we still can't action things that we can't touch. So you bring the cookie jar closer and you unscrew the lid and you ask the question, what now? All right. Now we know where we are. We know where we're looking forward over the horizon. We know a goal closer in the hills. And now we've got the cookie jar right here. And we go, what now? And we define, we build, and we get there, and we can understand it, and the buy-in from everyone, and we fill flip charts with real good ideas, and people go, yes, we can do this, until they start thinking. Then the brain does this amazing thing. And I love human behavior. I love the human psychology, because immediately the main function of the brain is survival. And we can only survive if we know where we are. And immediately we default back to norm, which is over here, which is what is. So immediately everybody in the audience, everybody in the workroom thinks of a million ideas why this will not work. And it starts off, we don't have time, we don't have budget, we can't possibly do that. Oh, the labor unions will have a fit with us. Oh, no, it's not policy. And my favorite, let's not disrupt it. We don't have a precedent for that. And we hear all these corporate speaks and all that sort of stuff. And so what I do is we go down that next question. We ask, why no? And what I do is I open up a flip chart, I draw a line down the middle, and I start filling in there, and I open up, why won't this work? Now, often the client's boss is sitting at the back, and he's going, oh my goodness, I've hired this consultant, and now he's telling everybody this is not going to work. Clearly he's on his phone to try phone somebody else there to remove me from the room, and security are like looking through the window at any moment. Now they're going to come and drag me away. And we say, well, why won't this work? Let's unpack that. Because unless you go there emotionally with your audience, they are going to get stuck. So I often go there and say, well, why won't this work? And I offer, issues like, clearly you don't have the time to do this. It's going to add another 4 hours to your week. And people, oh no, we've got to work overarm time, and I've got to change your job description, and HR are going to have to write all those job descriptions again. And what about this? Are you going to get paid more? Well, maybe no, because we're spending so much time, money on this innovation. There's no increase in this and this. And we just throw all these ideas on the page. And when we've exhausted that, emotionally, the people have got no more grounds to object to innovation. Now, if you're doing innovation alone, you need to do this with yourself. And I go and I put up post-it notes and I stick them everywhere. And I go, why won't this work? Why won't this work? Why won't this work? Until I've exhausted my negativity. And negativity is not a bad thing. It's just how we work. Because your brain is going survival, 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 get back to norm, get back to norm, get back to norm. You can't possibly change, even though change sounds like ice cream sundaes on a tropical beach. No, we can't go there, the sun's too hot, go back to normal. And we go back to there. And then on the other side of the flip chart, remember that line we drew, we got all the negative stuff there. Then the simple question is, well, how can we make this work? And the empowerment of allowing people to overcome their own negativity is one of the most buying in transformational exercises that I've ever done in my life, because they have put their hand up and say, we don't have money. And then we ask the question, well, how do we find money? Now, I did this with a group of people this morning, and we sitting there and they talking hundreds of millions of dollars, big numbers for some big projects across the Africa continent. And we ask that question, well, we don't have the money. And going like, well, how do we find that money? How can we leverage the tax laws of 4 different countries to raise that sort of money? How do we go there? How do we trade this? How do we leverage this? What happens if we looked at this other way? And as those ideas come in, you see the negativity starting to change and all the lights are coming on and people are leaning forward. People are making notes on their phone and they're sitting there and some of them are running out to go phone because this is exciting. And we ask the question, why yes? And when you've exhausted that, you've now changed people's mindset. So no longer norm is here, norm now resides over here, and people are so fired up and you ask the simple question is, how now? Which is the first steps to do at the next stage. So I never, ever leave a session without taking not just a first step, but a big first step. You've got to step out and do something outrageous to get from where you are, because once you've made that step, no longer are you where you were when you started this. You are now in a new place and you're already on the journey to how now. So the poem goes simple. What is, what wow, what if, what now? Why no? Why yes? How now? My rhyme for innovation, for leaders, for transformation, for updating people who are stuck beyond stuckness to get them out of where they are into something where they go. So my action for you right now is to go and find me on LinkedIn. My name is Bruce Wade. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm residing in Cape Town in sunny South Africa. Connect with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. If you've got an innovative idea or a concept that you're stuck with, I'd like to help write your story from stuckness to success. Thank you very much.
Wow. You're going to be able to help us to get out, you say, from stuckness to success. Wow. What principles that you've shared for sustainable innovation. I love the way you've mentioned that negativity is not a bad thing. It is just how we work. You know, as a leader, I always say that you'll have to be as creative as much as you can. Creativity, it goes with innovation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bruce, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Because as a good leader, you must be ready to transform your creativity spirit into an innovation the way you've just explained it. That sets you apart from the rest, really. So it's high time we think outside the box as leaders when any issues arise in our lives, because this is the thing that separates a leader from a follower, is that a leader is creative, a leader is innovative. They are creative and innovative to come up with unique ideas and to turn those ideas and goals into a reality. So in order for us to join the elite club as good leaders, really, we need to focus on results. We need to focus on results, on what must be achieved by ourselves and our team. Thank you, Bruce, for such a profound, much needed message.
Thank you.